In all of the gaming canon, or should I say Ganon, there are few characters as important as Zelda. I mean, Link, you know what I mean. The Legend of Zelda franchise has revolutionized gaming more than once in every category except dialogue. And over the decades and Deku nuts, plenty of awesome nonsense has surrounded it. So here are 9 fascinating facts about The Legend of Zelda, plus one filthy lie buzzing around like an obnoxious navigation fairy. So try to force yourself to catch it before the end of the video. And if not, I'm sure someone will spoil it in the comments. Or they won't, and you'll just remain ignorant. Number 1. Zelda creator Shigeru Miyamoto has said the idea for the game came from his own unsupervised childhood adventures. He often roamed the woods near his home, presumably with his stuffed tiger companion, and once stumbled into a, quote, dark hole that turned out to be a maze-like cave system. This experience became the inspiration for Link's forest world, chock full of ruins and dungeons. You heard it here first, parents. Don't watch your kids. For the good of gaming, let them roam wild and free. The world will thank you. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was originally conceived as a first-person slash and shooter, but designers landed on a third-person perspective because they thought players would hate not seeing Link on screen. And the original Legend of Zelda at one point included a dungeon building system that would allow players to create and trade their own game maps, an idea they also scrapped. So for those keeping track at home, they essentially invented the Elder Scrolls and Super Mario Maker, cut both concepts out of their games, and their games still came out awesome. Miyamoto's leftovers are better games than most games. Number 3. But why is it called Legend of Zelda? And then the legend's about Link mostly. Well, first of all, in Japan it was called the Hyrule Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda, which makes more sense. And secondly, the story for the Hyrule Fantasy originally saw Link shifting between the present and future in an attempt to recover the Triforce, which was at that time made of 3 special microchips. Incidentally, the fact that his existence connected 2 different time periods is the reason he's called Link. Also, he loves sausages. Okay, that part I made up. That doesn't count as the lie, though. You know what? This one isn't the lie. I'll just say it. Freebie. You're welcome. Number 4. Speaking of names, Zelda is named after the only other notable Zelda in the history of humankind, painter, author, and socialite Zelda Fitzgerald, who died in a sanitarium fire after overdosing on sleeping pills and throwing herself down a flight of stairs. Hopefully our Zelda's fate isn't quite so, poetic? Historic? Depressing. Similarly, Ganondorf was named after the only notable Ganondorf in history, Irish poet laureate Seamus Butler Ganondorf, who wrote such apropos poems as Scythe Through the Grass and Heart-Shaped Container, then died penniless. Hopefully Miyamoto sent his descendants some of those sweet Nintendo rupees as residuals. Number 5. Link almost had a cartoonishly bulbous schnoz a la Mario, but the decision to give him a more human nose was made after designer Yoshiaki Koizumi's wife complained that, quote, all of Nintendo's characters have funny noses. Don't you have any handsome ones? So, if you've ever felt a little funny watching Link's sinuous thighs pulse around Epona's galloping flank, thank Madame Koizumi's legendary thirst. Number 6. The very first system to get The Legend of Zelda was the Famicom, available primarily in Japan and later reimagined as the NES. And as the Japanese Famicom included a working microphone, designers thought it would be fun to include an enemy that you killed by making loud noises, the Poe's voice.
Loud noises!
And I bet it would have been. if the NES had a microphone, but it didn't, so we were left scratching our heads when we first encountered Poles, read in the manual that they were weak against sound, and then shot them to death with a bow and arrow. Huh? Number 7. Composer Koji Kondo rushed the iconic Legend of Zelda theme out in just one night after developers realized the piece of classical music they had intended to use, Ravel's Bolero, didn't enter the public domain until a month after the game's shipping date. As usual, the best strategy was to wait till the last second and then phone it in, just like this video. Number 8. Miyamoto now admits that Link's look was almost entirely inspired by Disney's Peter Pan. Also, they both have fairy friends, don't seem to age normally, and fly using magic dust. So really, when you think about it, did Miyamoto even add anything? Yes, puzzles and killing stuff. Kick ass! Number 9. You know Tingle. You love Tingle. You also kind of fear Tingle. Well, the fairy-obsessed jester-looking dude, who's explicitly 35 years old, has mostly served as comic relief to Western audiences. Tingle is far more popular in Japan, where he has starred in a slew of his own spin-off games. There's Tingle's Balloon Fight and color-changing Tingle's Love Balloon Trip, both of which are legally barred from being played within 250 feet of a school, as well as the Too Much Tingle Pack. Contents: 1 Tingle. And number 10. Breath of the Wild introduced so many new mechanics to a core Zelda title, the team developing it were concerned that they wouldn't all feel right in the context of Link's well-established universe. To test that theory, they actually produced an 8-bit top-down version of Breath in the style of the original Legend of Zelda, complete with physics puzzles and simulated forest fires. Release it, you cowards! Release it! So how about it? Are you feeling lucky, Linky? Which doors lead to the truth, and which is a filthy door mimic? Which chests are full of silver rupees, and which is just a dog turd in a paper bag? Was it 1. Miyamoto's childish spelunking, 2. First-person Link in custom-made dungeons, 3. Microchip Triforce, 4. Zelda, Ganondorf, and other cursed names, 5. Link's sexy-ass nose, 6. The Famicom microphone incident, 7. A last-minute theme change, 8. The Peter Pan connection, 9. Tingles everywhere, or 10. 8-bit Breath of the Wild. If you guess number 4, you won! There is, in fact, no famed Irish poet named Ganondorf. Although all the stuff about Zelda Fitzgerald was real, so that's a downer. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Locked to IGN. That's it. Keep it locked to IGN. I'm new.